Picture the heart of the Roman Empire: order, discipline, and destiny. Rome's legions were the backbone of its power, their unity and strength unmatched across the ancient world. The empire's expansion seemed unstoppable, its authority unquestioned. But in 9 AD, that confidence was shattered. 3 entire legions, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, were annihilated in the dark, tangled depths of the Teutoburg Forest, ambushed by Germanic tribes led by Arminius. The defeat sent shockwaves through Rome. This wasn't just a loss of men, it was the loss of the legionary eagles, the sacred aquila. These golden standards were more than mere symbols. They embodied the very soul, spirit, and honor of Rome's legions. To lose 1 eagle was a disgrace. To lose 3 was a national trauma, a wound to the collective Roman psyche that would not heal easily. The eagles, now trophies of the Germanic tribes, mocked Roman power and haunted Emperor Augustus. He famously cried out in despair, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions," a lament echoing through history. The lost eagles became an obsession, a stain on Roman pride that demanded cleansing. The shame was felt in every corner of the empire, fueling a burning desire for redemption. The Rhine frontier, once a springboard for conquest and glory, became a fortified scar, a defensive line marking the limits of Roman ambition in the north. Restoring honor was now a psychological necessity, driving the Romans to train harder, to swear new oaths, and to dream of vengeance and recovery. Into this crisis stepped a young Roman prince, determined and resolute, destined to reclaim the lost eagles and restore Rome's wounded pride. His quest would become a defining chapter in Roman history, a story of resilience, redemption, and the unbreakable spirit of Rome. At the heart of this struggle were 2 men, Germanicus and Arminius. Germanicus, the Roman aristocrat, was adored by the people and groomed for power. Arminius, a Germanic chieftain raised by Rome, turned his Roman training against his former masters. Their conflict was deeply personal, a clash of identities and destinies. Germanicus sought to avenge Rome's shame and secure his legacy. Arminius fought to unite the tribes and resist Roman domination. Even Arminius's brother, Flavus, fought for Rome, highlighting the personal stakes. For Germanicus, victory meant restored honor. For Arminius, it was survival and freedom. Their struggle shaped the fate of the Roman frontier. This was more than a battle for land, it was a battle for the future. Germanicus was Rome's hope, a young, charismatic leader with a sacred mission. He was the embodiment of Roman ideals, valor, discipline, and a sense of destiny. To the people and the army alike, he was more than just a commander. He was a symbol of what Rome could be at its best. His command of the Rhine legions was more than a posting. It was a crusade to erase the shame of Teutoburg. The memory of that devastating defeat haunted Rome, and Germanicus was determined to restore the empire's pride. He inspired fierce loyalty, sharing hardships and fueling his men's desire for vengeance. Germanicus ate, marched, and suffered alongside his soldiers, earning their respect and devotion in a way few commanders ever could. Publicly, he vowed to punish the tribes, recover the eagles, and restore Roman honor. His words echoed through the ranks, igniting a fire in the hearts of his men. Privately, he knew victory would secure his political future and outshine the cautious Emperor Tiberius. Every decision was weighed not just for military gain, but for its impact on his legacy and Rome's future. In 15 AD, Germanicus led his legions to the site of the disaster, confronting the grisly remains of the fallen. The sight was a grim reminder of what was at stake. He orchestrated a solemn funeral, transforming grief into a powerful call for revenge. The ceremony was both a tribute and a rallying cry, uniting the army in shared purpose. This act bound his soldiers to him, turning their mission into a personal crusade. Each man felt the weight of history on his shoulders and the promise of redemption ahead. Every speech, every action was calculated to stoke the flames of retribution. Germanicus understood the power of morale, and he wielded it masterfully. Germanicus was not just fighting a war, he was forging a legend. His campaigns would echo through history, inspiring generations to come. His blend of ambition and patriotism made him relentless. He pushed his men and himself to the limits, refusing to accept anything less than total victory. The campaign was as much about healing Rome's psyche as it was about military victory. The wounds of Teutoburg ran deep, and only a triumph could mend the nation's spirit. The quest for the eagles became a symbol of national redemption. For Germanicus and his men, it was more than a mission. It was a chance to restore Rome's lost glory and prove that the empire's heart still beat strong. Arminius was a man shaped by Rome, yet determined to destroy its grip on his homeland. To the Romans, he was a traitor. To the tribes, a liberator. He saw Roman friendship as a path to domination and fought for the survival of Germanic identity. His greatest challenge was uniting the fractious tribes against a common enemy. The victory at Teutoburg proved Rome could be beaten and rallied the tribes to his cause. Arminius's Roman training gave him a unique edge. He knew how to exploit Roman weaknesses. He turned the forests and swamps into weapons, waging a guerrilla war. For Arminius, this was a rebellion against a future he refused to accept. His leadership transformed a patchwork of tribes into a force that could challenge an empire. In Germania, Rome's true strength lay in its auxiliaries, non-citizen troops from across the empire. These specialists, Batavi swimmers, Chauci boatmen, Celtic warriors, gave Rome flexibility in hostile terrain. Auxiliaries fought the guerrilla war Arminius had perfected, often outmatching the legions in the forests. Their presence turned the conflict into a multi-ethnic war, pitting tribe against tribe. Service offered them pay, spoils, and the promise of citizenship, a powerful incentive. For Rome, recruiting from allied tribes was both a military asset and a divide-and-rule tactic. The auxiliaries' loyalty was pragmatic, not absolute. Their skills allowed Germanicus to pursue Arminius deep into enemy territory, proving Rome's adaptability. The climax came in 16 AD at the Angrivarian Wall, an earthen rampart where Arminius made his stand. He hoped to use the wall to neutralize Roman discipline and turn the battle into chaos. Arminius's strategy: hold the wall, ambush from the woods, and force a decisive clash. Germanicus, wiser now, unleashed his auxiliaries, archers and skirmishers, to soften the defenders. The Romans stormed the rampart in disciplined formation, breaking the Germanic line. The fighting was brutal and close, the wall was breached, and the coalition collapsed. Arminius, wounded, barely escaped. The defeat shattered the rebellion and ended large-scale resistance. The Angrivarian Wall became a symbol of both defiance and defeat. Rome's vengeance was swift and devastating. The Angrivari, caught on the front line, paid dearly for resisting Rome. Their land became the final battleground, and after defeat, Roman retribution was merciless. Villages burned, people killed or enslaved. The cost of defiance was total destruction. Facing annihilation, the Angrivarii surrendered and switched allegiance to Rome. Their survival depended on pragmatism, not loyalty. This betrayal further isolated Arminius and broke the Germanic coalition. The Angrivari's fate shows the human cost of imperial ambition. In these wars, entire communities were crushed between greater powers. Our main source for these events is Tacitus, a Roman historian with a clear bias. His annals paint Germanicus as a hero and Arminius as a noble savage. But the Germanic perspective is lost. We have no written records from the tribes, only Roman voices and agendas. Was Arminius a liberator or an ambitious chieftain? The truth is obscured by Roman propaganda. Archaeology helps fill the gaps. Sites like Calcrise and Kalefeld provide physical evidence of the battles. Artifacts, hobnails, weapons, personal items bring the conflict to life and confirm the scale of the fighting. Archaeology reveals a world of trade and cultural exchange, not just war. The brutality and complexity of the conflict are clearer in the ground than in the texts. By combining biased texts with impartial evidence, we get a more balanced picture. The real story is more nuanced than any Roman account. Germanicus's campaigns were a limited success, though not without significant achievements. He managed to defeat Arminius's formidable coalition and successfully recovered 2 of the 3 lost eagles, symbols of Roman might. For Rome, the return of these eagles was more than just a military success. It was a symbolic victory, restoring the empire's pride and honor. Yet, despite his successes, Germanicus was recalled before he could fully conquer Germania. Emperor Tiberius decided the cost of further campaigns was too high. Consequently, the Rhine became Rome's permanent frontier, marking the end of expansion into northern Europe. In this strategic retreat, Arminius achieved his ultimate goal, halting Rome's relentless advance and preserving Germanic independence. The legacy of these events was profound. Rome's expansion was curtailed, and the eagles became potent symbols in imperial propaganda. Germanicus was immortalized as a hero of Rome, his untimely death only adding to his legendary status. For the Germanic tribes, Arminius emerged as a foundational hero, later celebrated as Hermann the German, a symbol of resistance. The saga of the Lost Eagles is about more than just battles. It's about enduring symbols, identity, and the timeless struggle between empire and freedom. The clash between Germanicus and Arminius echoes through European history, influencing the course of nations. Their stories shaped the destiny of 2 worlds, leaving an indelible mark on history. The Lost Eagles became a legend, inspiring countless generations with tales of bravery and resilience. In the end, the true victory was not just military, but the enduring power of myth and the stories that continue to captivate us.